This is where you can eat the best vegan food in Canggu, Bali. One of my favorite things about Canggu, Bali is the food scene. There are so many beautiful cafes and restaurants, including cuisines from all over the world, and luckily for me and you, including a plethora of vegan options, starting off with number 1, Kynd Cafe. This is a super popular open-air restaurant with lots of vegan breakfast options. However, we mostly ate their sweet baked goods, which I'm a sucker for, and I'm sure you are too, to be honest, which included things like muffins, cupcakes, cakes, sweet breads, cookies, and even more. So every time I'm at a coffee shop and they have vegan treats or like baked goods, I can never resist. And I feel even silly when they give each one on a different plate. We have a blueberry slice, banana bread, and a carrot cake. They have so many vegan things, and the prices are actually pretty good here. I say actually, like things in Bali aren't cheap in general, but like $2, $2.50 maybe for a dessert, which is pretty good for vegan stuff. So I'm gonna try these out, and they have so many more options like cupcakes, cookies, chocolatey sort of desserts, both coffee in the morning. Early, I want something a little bit more light and fresh. So we'll have a go and just let you know how it is at Kynd. And they are so incredibly delicious, especially paired with some coffee in the morning. Now, if you want a healthier start to the day than like cookies, cakes, and muffins and stuff, I don't blame you. Go to Green Guru Smoothie Bowl. Now, people jokingly say that smoothie bowls are the official dish of the island of Bali, and I can definitely see why, because we went to Green Guru and their smoothie bowls are unreal, so delicious. They offer a variety of different kinds of smoothie bowls, so you know they'll have something for you regardless of what your taste is, and they're served in these like beautifully shaped, really interesting to look at, like wooden brown, I guess wood would be brown, smoothie bowls. So great vibes, and it definitely has that like, you know, healthy, islandy sort of feel that you're probably craving to get in Canggu, Bali. Now, probably my favorite cafe in all of Canggu, possibly all of Bali, is going to be I Am Vegan Babe. I Am Vegan Babe is a beautiful cafe with amazing vibes and atmosphere and provides sort of like a Western or global influence menu. We tried a variety of their like lunch options, which included a shrimpless lettuce wrap, a surfer bowl, a Cuban sandwich, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't blow me away. Maybe something was missing. But when we got to the breakfast sort of stuff, we were blown away. We actually went here for all-you-can-eat pancakes on Sundays, which I don't know if they still do this like for select times in the morning. But anyway, it was a really good deal, really tasty pancakes. Definitely ate too many. But my favorite thing for breakfast is going to be their eggless Benedict, which is like an eggs Benedict, but you kind of get the gist. So delicious. I could eat this every day in the morning for breakfast and never get sick of it. Or truly delicious dish in a great place. I love I Am Vegan Babe. And they also have a sweets counter too, which I can never resist. Now let's talk about Burgreens. This was actually the first place I ever ate at in Canggu, and I visited it multiple times. Keeping with the theme of Canggu, this is a beautifully designed, like open-air restaurant, and their menu is very vast. It includes things such as like Western food, Asian, and most importantly, Indonesian food, because of course this isn't just going to be like, you know, Western cute cafes. We want to eat some local food while in Canggu, Bali, and hopefully you do too. So we've tried a lot of the food here, including their katsu plate, which is kind of like a Japanese sort of dish, gyoza, which is like dumplings, mini burgers, and lots of Indonesian food, which I'll cover for you here right now. We tried bakso, which is kind of like a soup. Well, it is a soup with these like meatballs, but of course these are vegan meatballs. It was decent. We tried satay, which satay are pretty much like skewers with like sort of meat, but in our case it's going to be a vegan meat or like a tempeh sort of thing with some sauce to dip it in. Really nice and tasty as well. We have rendang, which is kind of like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's freaking delicious. It's one of my favorite Indonesian or Southeast Asian kind of dishes, where it's this like marinated sort of meat, not meat in our case, with some really delicious spices and kind of like coconut milky sort of taste. It's kind of like a curry, but like a meat from a curry. That's the best way I can describe it. I love it. We also tried nasi campur, which this is like my favorite dish in all of Bali. Nasi campur is like a mixed plate with like rice and a bunch of other little stuff on the plate too. It can be like sambal, which is like a spicy sauce. It could be maybe some tempeh or like satay skewers. It can be some greens. Love nasi campur, and it's really good at Burgreens as well. In continuing with our discussion about nasi campur, another place you can eat at that we did is Warung Bu Mi. Now warung is a word you need to know when being in Bali, because warung means like small family business, which for you will just mean like a small kind of locally owned restaurant. And Warung Bu Mi has a very interesting sort of layout where you can choose either white rice or yellow rice and then build your own plate of nasi campur by pointing at things behind the glass and then paying for like your total plate at the end. This is a great way, it kind of feels like you're at a Thanksgiving meal, but to try many different like Balinese and Indonesian delicacies. It was really tasty and really affordable as well. At these kind of places, I will always eat so much that I feel like I need a nap afterwards. And Warung Bu Mi has lots of vegan options, including like different tofu, tempeh, veggies, greens, potatoes. So you can get a nice assortment of delicious, reasonably priced food, local food as well, here at Warung Bu Mi. And going back to some of the naughty stuff, let's talk about dang cookies. It's dang because of an exclamation point. I'm not just yelling at you. But I don't know about you, I love a good warm, sweet, moist, chocolatey cookie. And you can get just that at Dang Cookies because they have like, when we went there, 2 vegan cookie options, which are very delicious, very fresh and warm, and everything I described it as earlier. And you can even get a glass of some non-dairy milk to wash it down and to complement the ooey gooey rich deliciousness of the cookies at Dang Cookies. All right, I'm done. And while we are still talking about some naughty little sweet treats, did I mention in Canggu there is an entirely vegan donut store? This store is named Dreamwave Donuts, and they have a wide variety of all vegan donuts, and they're so delicious, so tasty. If you like donuts like me, you will not be disappointed here. They are some really great donut options and all vegan, which, and the vibe's really cool as well. But if you're hoping to go to Canggu to like be like super healthy, then maybe you want to stay away from this, but it's still worth it in my opinion. And right next door to Dreamwave Donuts is a restaurant called The Secret Spot. It can't be that secret because it has about like 1,000 reviews on Google, but anyway, I tried the shawarma, which is really good. It's kind of like a Middle Eastern kind of like wrap, which was good. It wasn't the best I've ever had in my life. To be honest, a quick little aside is the food in Canggu is good. They have lots of like international foods, but some of the international foods are just missing a little bit of that something, whether it's like Mexican, Middle Eastern, maybe like some Western sort of stuff too. Did I already say that? Probably did. But anyway, so it's a really good option if you're wanting something a little bit different and tasty. But yeah, I don't know, didn't blow me away like some of the other places personally, but had a really beautiful design and decor as well, which, you know, you'll never be let down by the style and design of these restaurants and cafes in Canggu, Bali. We're not quite done yet with our cafes because another good place you can eat at is going to be Brunch Club. This is a really popular sort of like, well, brunch and breakfast spot that is popular with like digital nomads and remote workers because it's got cool vibes, another kind of like semi-open air aesthetic, and some comfortable areas to sit in to get some work done. But their vegan options are actually really tasty. They have sort of like an avocado toast, which is healthy and tasty. They actually have some smoothie bowls too, which are really delicious. Remember, smoothie bowls in Bali and Canggu hit different, not even joking. And they have hash browns, which that's a pretty standard option. And actually orange juice, which has a cute little decoration.
It's so cute.
Just the stuff here is presented really nicely. The flavor is really good, even if the options aren't like as interesting as maybe some other places you'd hope for. But it's a good spot if you're meeting up with some people who aren't vegan, or if you maybe want somewhere to kind of chill out and get some like work done throughout the day. Brunch Club is a good spot for vegans too. Now this is a place that you cannot miss. It's going to be Ithaka Warung. This is probably my favorite place in all of Canggu. Well, one of them maybe. It's really hard to say, but definitely towards the top for getting some Indonesian and Balinese food. It's right by Batu Bolong Beach, and it has rooftop seating with a really nice decoration. And it kind of goes without saying at this point, but it has some good views and it's a really good dining experience. It's not all vegan, but they have great vegan options for Indonesian food, which we tried almost all of them. The foods we've tried here are going to be nasi goreng, which is like an Indonesian fried rice, really tasty. Mie goreng, which is like an Indonesian fried noodles, really good as well. We also tried satay with a peanut sauce on it, which is really nice. I told you what that was earlier. Tried gado, which is kind of like a green salad with peanut sauce on top of it. Good option. Probably not my favorite here, but my favorites are going to be the nasi campur, which is really good selection. the Balinese Indonesian curry, which I love a good curry, and it's like kind of like similar to Thai flavor. It's like a Thai yellow curry, but lots of good spices, a coconut kind of milk taste, and some lime. So delicious. And patatas bravas, which is actually like a Spanish dish, but I love potatoes, and the like sambal they serve it with is really tasty as well. Definitely have to eat here, everybody. It's just a great dining experience where the style meets the substance, or substance meets the style, for sure. And while we were speaking about that delicious Balinese curry, I don't know about you, but I love a good Indian curry, which you can get at New Deli. At New Deli, they have delicious Indian food, including a palak tofu curry, fresh juices, dosa, which is kind of like an Indian flatbread with either some fillings or some different kind of like curries and chutneys to dip it in. Pakora, which is kind of like a fried like chunk or cluster of vegetables with Indian spices. Vegetable curry, and naan, which is normally not vegan, but this one I'm showing you on screen actually is vegan. Yay! Love vegan naan. To be honest, I just love Indian food, and I will always try and eat it in different countries because, you know, I'm always craving it. And the ones in Bali are really freaking good. Unsurprisingly, because I think there is like some sort of a Hindu influence in the island, because it's a Hindu island from like India, so they really do a good job with Indian food here based on my limited expertise. But actually, a pretty good expertise. I eat a lot of Indian food, everybody. And just down the road from New Delhi is going to be Cafe Vida Organic, which is a beautifully designed but kind of different aesthetic cafe, because it's more of a Balinese or local like island sort of style. It feels like a restaurant you'd see more in Ubud, where it's more cultural and like more Balinese, where Canggu is a little bit more like hip, kind of like aesthetic, like beachy kind of influencer town. You would know what I'm talking about if you go to Canggu. But anyway, Cafe Vida has that beautiful aesthetic, and it has some delicious organic healthy food to go along with it. To start off, we tried a few of their freshly made organic juices without added sugar or sweeteners. Surprisingly, they were very, very good. For food, we tried the Vita Healthy Bowl, which is crammed full of tons of different vegetables. It has a lot of good flavor and good little like sauces and dips to accompany it. It was definitely fresh, healthy, and delicious, which I love that combination. We also tried the Green Revolution Bowl, but it was it's still good, but it didn't blow us away to the same extent as the other bowl, but it's still really tasty and very healthy as well. We also ate here for breakfast, and I got the Farmhouse Big Breakfast, which is kind of like an English sort of style breakfast, where it comes with a vegan version being vegan like tofu, or like a tofu scramble being like a vegan egg substitute, of course, and maybe like sausage, toast, some greens and beans. Really nice, really tasty, pretty filling. Honestly, I'm still a little bit hungry afterwards, but I do like to eat a lot, everybody. Maybe after going to those warungs and stacking my plate full like it's my last meal, got me having a bigger appetite in Canggu. But anyway, it's a good selection if you want more of like a Western style breakfast. And not just like a smoothie bowl or something like that. You can also try the shakshuka, which is sort of, I don't know if it's like an African or Indian dish, to be honest, but it has that same kind of like flavor profile, and it was a good option. Both of these were good, but they did not blow us away or make us think, man, we need to go back and have that breakfast option again, but just a good option. I ultimately do recommend coming here for like lunch and dinner and trying those different health bowls we talked about earlier. And lastly, let's talk about Give. Apparently this place is closed, which honestly breaks my heart, really does, but I will mention it just in case it reopens, because, you know, this video will be on YouTube for a long time, so hopefully this place will reopen soon, because this is one of my favorite places in all of Bali, because this is similar to Warung Bu Mi, where it's like a nasi campur style restaurant where you get to pick like your base of rice and add different stuff to it, but it's all vegan, so you can really go crazy here. But I'll get back to the food. What this restaurant does that's really cool is it offers a lot of its proceeds to charity, and when you order, you can kind of like take these little tokens and put them in the box where you'd like your proceeds from the meal you purchased to go to, like which charity you want to support, which is really cool. It's a good feeling, and it's great to know that like your money's not only helping a great business, but helping out some people who really need it as well. So back to the food. This nasi campur restaurant has some amazing options. We're talking about rendang, we're talking about sambal, we're talking about some kind of like pulled chicken sort of thing, we're talking about some tempeh satay, we're talking about curry, talking about corn fritters, potato options. It literally is like the ultimate Balinese like Thanksgiving plate that you can put together, and every time I ate here, I would need to go in like a food coma and lay down for hours, and it was so worth it, and I would do it to myself every time, again and again. They also have mee goreng, which is really tasty here as well, but the nasi campur, build your own plate, is the way to go. Give, please reopen soon, and I might just book my tickets to come back to Bali right now. if you open again. So that's all for this video, everybody. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out my different things to do in other areas in Bali besides Canggu, because I do have some gripes and concerns and problems with Canggu that I'll actually be talking about very soon. So stay tuned for that if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.